In the past few years, free birth control has been a very controversial subject. The debate is whether free birth control should be available to women or if it should be private pay. The fact is, the government is already shelling out about $12 billion a year on unplanned pregnancies. That money goes towards health care for low-income women. Many people don't realize that 41% of births in the US are already being covered by Medicaid. Medicaid is funded by taxpayers' money. There's an argument that birth control is just as expensive as a pregnancy. That is just not true. In 2008, Medicaid paid on average $12,613 for births, for one birth, while the cost of birth control for a year, depending on your choice of method, is approximately $257. That is a huge difference in what the government is spending versus what the government could be spending. Another factor in why free birth control would be a great asset to women across America is another touchy subject of abortion. There are two studies that have been done that I'm aware of. One is from researchers in St. Louis that show that access to effective birth control significantly affects the abortion rates. When there are less unplanned pregnancies, less women are going to feel like abortion is their only option. When you feel like you still have so much left to accomplish before you're at a point in your life to settle down and have children. The study in St. Louis was called the Contraceptive Choice Project. And what these researchers did was they provided 10,000 local women with access to free birth control of their choice. 75% of those women chose to have a long-lasting birth control, such as an IUD. When you compare that to only 8% of women across America who generally private pay or their insurance will pay for some of the IUD. With that more effective and long-term IUD, the unplanned pregnancy rates declined. The Title X clinics supported through the Contraceptive Choice Project actually helped avoid almost 1 million unplanned pregnancies in 2008 alone. 433,000 of those would have been unplanned births, while the remaining 406,000 would have been abortions. And whether you're pro-life, pro-choice, whatever, you can't deny that the fact of having less abortions would make everyone happy. In my personal opinion. Birth control also has many medical benefits, not even just being used as a contraceptive. Personally, I started birth control, I believe it was my junior year of high school, and it wasn't as a contraceptive. My menstrual cycle was very irregular. It was very painful. And so the pill contraceptive helped alleviate some of those symptoms for me. And I know it has for other women as well. Some women have polycystic ovary syndrome, and the pill form of birth control can help with that as well. It's also beneficial to note that there's the potential to lower the risk of cancers such as ovarian and uterine cancer. And let's face it, there are financial benefits for women who are on birth control. Many women choose not to get pregnant because they're not in a financial situation where they feel that they're ready to have children yet. Whether they're trying to finish high school, finish college, obtain and maintain a comfortable career, where they feel stable and secure enough to start settling down and building that family. And some women just know that they can't afford to have a baby yet. So having access to free birth control, it's the right choice for most women. And I know that there are many different available, there are methods of birth control. Some are abstinence, which is free. Some are fertility awareness, which is just the tracking of your ovulation dates and the utilization of the pull-out method. But let's face it, teenagers, women who are under the influence, men who are under the influence, people with mental health issues, they aren't going to be in the state of mind to practice abstinence, to track their ovulation days, and to pull out. So it's not a practical choice for most of the women who ultimately end up having unplanned pregnancies. There are other options such as condoms, birth control pills, IUDs, Depo shots. There are even like sponges and rings that you can insert. But the fact is, if you don't have easy, quick, inexpensive access, many women aren't going to utilize it and end up having an unplanned pregnancy. And when some of these women have unplanned pregnancies, they either have an abortion, put their kid up for adoption, which puts financial stress on the government and the taxpayers. Maybe they don't have access to the prenatal care that they need, and maybe they don't know that they're pregnant, and so they continue to use substances, and that can have detrimental effects on the baby. There are just so many reasons that having access to free birth control for women is important. To me, it's not even a question of who should pay for it. Everyone deserves to have access to some form of birth control, whether you're leaning more towards the financial and economic standpoint or the health standpoint or the emotional standpoint. Every woman deserves the right to have access to free birth control.